scan player on their roster that would suit this map. And teams like that, for example, MVP Space, do like to run the Torbjorn defense on point A.
The Foxes players there in the audience leading the cheer.
Yeah.
What better place to watch? You don't want to watch in the back. TV, watch out here. Nice, comfortable theater seat.
Big screen.
That big screen going on. The sound blasting in your face.
Get to study and you don't even need a VOD review this one. You got these two players in the audience watching. All right. There's going to be the Orisa Widow setup here with Junkrat defense we've seen on so many maps. Not really possible on Hanamura, but very possible here and on Volskaya versus just standard Tracer and Sombra for O2 Ardeont. We're not going to see them run this on defense, but on attack, they're sort of forced to.
Dora going to have to kite back there, sees the Winston pushing up, doesn't want to face Yakpunk in a point-blank battle. Gets a nice headshot there on the Humbaba, help weaken the mech, but takes so much damage from Violet. He's got to back out. Climax is hovering nearby, takes that one tap there. Neither of them going to go down. Climax able to retreat. Top back up, goes in, looks for the clip, but he's just going to get locked down. Stan finds a kill. Yes. Just dashing straight in on top of that trap from Sasa.
Yeah. It's a really good peel here. So Sasha doing most of the damage, but the threat of the Widow makes the approach difficult.
Ripping Yakpung apart, trying to chase him down. Firing down into that stairwell. Not going to be able to get the kill though, but Need will take down Stellar. Still, Dirty Fox is looking quite nice. Dawson is feeling really saucy. He is going very far forward here. Has that Riptire ready to go. Adora's going to get taken down.
Oh man, so much damage already done here to Humbaba too.
Dawson kiting his way back. We'll see if he wants to pull out the Riptire yet or if he's going to hold it. Adora comes back through, takes out Violet, getting a bit of revenge. And Yakpung is dead. Adora finds the killing blow onto that. And seems like the hold is just going to be quite firm from the Foxes as they build up, looking for 6 ultimates. Already got 5 ready to go.
This is mostly the threat of the Widowmaker that makes the approach difficult, because the threat of the Widowmaker means you need to go into choke points. When you go into choke points, that's when Junkrat's having a great time. And Sasha is having a great time. You know, he's going to save the Riptire here for a more desperate situation, very likely. Doesn't want to use it just to get an opening pick. Wants to use it where he could actually guarantee a big play. Not a flashy one, but one that's really critical when O2 Ardeont ever gets close to the point, if they ever do.
I mean, you force out something like a Transcendence while the Zenyatta is far away from the point. That could be seen as a win, so we'll see what's going to happen here. Holding on to it so far. O2 Ardeont going to be pushing around the left side of the point. Shooting over. The fast track over towards point B if they could move up that way. Stellar pushes in, Riptire comes through, starts it off outside. As that first hit gets ready to come in, drops it down, looks for it, but just doesn't find the pick. Can't rock it in time. Humbaba finishes that one off, and now it's going to be the Transcendence up for Violet as O2 Ardeont looks to take the point. First pick already comes through. Foxes trying to regain control as the Supercharger gets dropped in here from Pumple. Stellar building up, nearly has the EMP, but is going to have to hold it for another day because Climax and Yakpung have already fallen.
With that Supercharger and the pocket healing and boosting from Oporochi, builds up 63% of another Riptire just instantly here in this area. Uses the Riptire defensively greedily even, and ends up wasting it because it's killed by Humbaba. That's the kind of weight I was talking about where he's looking for a more critical one. Either way though, he's protected well enough. The Supercharger gives him enough damage. He's going to have another one very soon. Adora's just threatening everyone again, trying to force him into these choke points where Junkrat's left clicks are going to be so effective.
Where's the trap?
Trap doing a lot of damage
there, giving some vision over. Adora now watching the backside, making sure the Climax can't come in from behind, trying to line up something like that. Pulse box dive comes in up top. Yakpung jumping in. Sound barrier is out from Rain. Everybody nice and healthy. Goes ahead, throws that one down. Stellar just looking to take down Need. Still hasn't been able to finish him off. Adora gets Violet in the meantime before dying to that primal rage of the pulse bomb. Will get rid of Pumple. Orochi, see if he can get into a range to throw down a res. As another Riptire comes in, take 2 for Sothen, looking for the pick, and he manages to find Yakpung to need so much more than that to hold on to this point. Self-destruct finds 2! Orochi and Need taken out of the fight. Humbaba gets rid of the support line, cracks open the point just before OT rolls in. 4 minutes on the clock. O2 Ardeont second lease on life.
That was a really stellar defense by Need yet again, but it just wasn't good enough. You gave me that look because I said stellar. I didn't mean it that way. He didn't, I mean, I don't even think Star was involved in what I was talking about. But anyway, all right, look, he's in the game. It's subconsciously getting into my mind. But yeah, it was a really good defense there, buying a lot of time, so they can't be too unhappy about this. They've got the support ultimates as well, so this should not be a snowball. Puppel being pocketed right now to control the front line. He is going to get healed up easily.
He's throwing down the Discord orbs, trying to get the hit there onto the Winston, feels the pressure, so throws down that Transcendence. One tick already gained. Well, 1.5. So 2. To finish this one off with some time in the bank. Adora getting jumped on. He's going to go low. He's going to get taken up. Will he hacked there by Stellar. Now the second tick rolls in with 3 minutes on the clock. Things looking pretty good for O2 Ardeont. Stellar throws down the EMP. Discord orb in onto Pumpel. Makes him a very easy target. They take him down. The hack in onto Overwatch. And O2 might just be able to close that horizon here with some time in the bank after nearly getting full health at A. They go for it, try to stop this one. Johnson drops down the EMP. They need to get the tag in, and Pumpel can't get there in time. They finish with 2:45.
Yeah, just having better ult efficiency in that last fight with the ult lead they had. Because the Foxes tried to use a lot of ultimates on the defense there of point A, and ended up having to switch, of course, to their composition once the point B approach happened. We see this all the time on Assault, and it was just really good execution there by O2 Ardeont to make it happen there. But I'm glad we got some first-person looks at Need, because his left-click accuracy is fantastic. His right clicks are looking to be pretty well connecting with their targets. He's able to predict the timing of people poking out, getting some kills with the right click. Transcend's timing, they're very good. Need has really stepped up tonight because it was all about Overwatch for the entirety of our first 3 weeks for Foxes, especially when Adora was Dragon Blading and pulling out these Genji plays on Numbani. But today, Need has really stepped it up, and although he's not able to heroically defend, they were able to buy a ton of time on point A, and what could have been a massive time bank is a more realistic one to deal with now as they switch over to attack. It's really interesting to me that they were still able to pull this off with Adora on the Widow, who's just never been famous or known for his Widowmaker play, but it was Sashin paired with the Widow to get that damage done with the Junkrat there. And can we talk about Need's heroic escape onto the moon, where he flew up in a skate there? Pretty impressive stuff. For the attack here, we'll see what we're going to see for the run of the Foxes, as it is going to be Climax playing to his strengths. That's why they picked this map. They want to put him on the Widow. Different setup though. Stellar on the Tracer. And oh boy, we've seen this before in other regions. A little bit annoying to deal with this SWAT sometimes. But yeah, Stellar is going to be on the Widow. Or sorry, excuse me, the Tracer. So no Junkrat for Peel. It's going to be about the accuracy of Climax. They're reliant again on his mechanical skill. Okay,
Shots coming through.
Stay up there.
Climax, yeah, he's just going to be on the walkway here. A bit too risky. Stay up quite that high, even without much range to take him down. Sasson going to get eliminated. Baba finds the hit. Sounds like, yeah, Violet.
Good deal,
coming
yeah.
up with some help there. And Climax now going to be jumping back up to the top as the UI just doesn't know what to do.
Yeah,
so shaking him.
The body moves technically, so the UI moves with it, but the aim does not, or the reticle does not. So you can
steady hand right there on that Widowmaker. Adora finding his way back. Himself alive, but needs to get some healing in. Still going to be low. Dashes through the orb. Seems like he'll be okay. Bolt comes down, pulls in a couple, but no headshots to be.
They're going to try to coordinate a dive here onto the Widow, waiting for that left click to come back up a little bit here for Need, as they do sneak around out of the line of sight of Widow. Now looking for the Ana.
Jump in, they're looking for Ray. They take him down with a leap. Adora going to get straight back there. Stellar finds the kill, but Hambama dangerously low there in that mech. Seems like he'll be able to stay alive here for the moment. Max, like an alternate angle over to the side, manages to find the shot there on Need, assisted by the halt. Opponent will be able to get the killing blow. And already Fox is struggling quite a bit when trying to get in onto this point A.
This goes back to what you were saying about getting the right angles earlier when we were watching Climax. They went around in a way to where he didn't have line of sight, and then they were able to pick off the Ana. But then Climax easily just hooked his way to a different angle, flanked, got behind everybody, and they still couldn't deal with his damage because they were so focused on diving the back line that even though Ana died, he was able to continue to do consistent damage there, get those headshots. Just finding ways to utilize his fantastic aim. And he's got the experience as a Widow to make it happen. Very impressive.
Dora now playing around this hack, this mega pack. Stay alive. EMP's ready to go from Sofson. Gonna need that to try to break open this point. Side now expired, jumps in, throws it down, catches quite a bit of few people here on the side of O2, but the kills just have not been coming down. Violent there with that Transcendence helps keep them all topped up. Even with Need using the Coalescence, they haven't been able to finish off anybody. Pumple with the Primal Rage finally gets rid of the enemy Zenyatta as the ultimate expires, and Rain going to be building up, looking for that sound barrier. Jump forward, Pumple finds one, Pulse Bomb in, Stellar gets a stick onto Adora. Is that going to be enough? Hasn't been able to target down the tanks, and that would really help put a stop to this push from the side of the Foxes, who are looking to take the point here on this push. Now ticking up, looking for the first one. Yakfeng completely surrounded, will die. It seems like Foxes might have finally won this one out. Still going to have some time in the bank. 5 minutes just about on the clock as they get this completion.
So they're going to have a slightly larger time bank than Ardeont did, about 1 minute longer, to be precise. See if Climax really wants to stick with this one. This can work, obviously, but it has its limits. If you end up losing the Widow, there's not much recourse here. And Widow doesn't actually give you a powerful ultimate in this point B defense like a Soldier or a McCree can. So this ultimate they're using to spot out the movement and the angle here is going to allow them to actually collapse on this.
Climax firing away, looking for that. Moira there, if you just find him, Sawson's going to go down, but the Moira will be able to get Rain. They just have that sound barrier available, but it doesn't seem like Foxes are in that much of a position to capitalize on that pick off there onto the Lucio.
It's okay to use the Coalescence and not find value because it builds so quickly, but yeah, as you say, they're just not able to really do anything with this. Climax still sticking with the Widow. Haven't really found themselves pressured deep yet, so he feels comfortable that he will be able to maintain.
Well, you say that, but surprise!
Surprise indeed!
Through from the side, Sawson's going to be the one getting punished, but Adora finds the kill there on a Climax. Takes him down, now is looking for the big off there on the Violet, but misses that whip there on that Pulse Bomb throw. Can't quite get the lockdown. And that Violet is going to be fine, means that he does not have to use that Transcendence, and that Foxes have to go ahead and peel back.
They were so close to converting that into a big fight for them. Pumple was so close to Primal. They had the support ultimates just on the cusp, and now this is going to be a big reset and a huge time buy for O2 Ardeont. Foxes were really close to pulling the trigger on this play. I respect their patience, given that they still have a little bit of a time bank lead right now. They're going to switch Sandwan here back, of course. He's losing his ultimate charge, but he only had like maybe 15 or so. It was pretty weak. So not a huge loss here.
That is, though.
That is, though. Yeah.
He's going to get taken down yet again. Climax finds the headshot onto the Zenyatta.
How much am I going to cast or curse these teams right now?
It seems like a lot. You've been doing that quite a bit.
But let's see what they can accomplish with this next push. Pumple has the Primal Rage. If they can get an opening pick on the Climax this time, they have the sustainability with the support ultimates. Or, you know, realistically, the sound barriers, what I mean to say. They have the sustainability to win the longer fight and get the wipe. The EMP, though, difficult to execute on the defense unless the Foxes all go into the same choke point. So Stellar's positioning here is going to have to be good to maximize what this EMP can accomplish.
Dawson, the way in so far, not going to be using anything, and he's going to be hacked out right from behind. Comes in Stellar, and he'll be able to find the killing blow. Sound barrier used there by Rain. They still have the Transcendence, but with Pumple and Dawson dead, the Foxes are going to have to peel back. They've already dropped below the time bank here that O2 finished with. Now down by 30 seconds. EMP. Foxes still have to regroup, and now they have to wait for Adora to respawn.
EMP very difficult to use unless you're in the perfect spot, and Sasha was looking for that exact sweet spot there on the attack. Gets found by Stellar, hacked, and then the collapse comes through from O2 Ardeont. He holds the EMP, at least it wasn't wasted in that last fight, but it's just time being bought. It's a huge win already.
Another shot there, body onto Need. Can't quite find the headshot though. Climax is still feeling fine to stick through with the Widow. They're in onto the point, they're looking for the fight now. Stellar looking to turn things around with this EMP, but Yakfeng has already died. Stellar throws it down, Sawson's uses the sound barrier, comes out, Violet's dead, Pulse Bomb gets him out of the back. Stellar goes low, he'll get taken down, and Nora chases him in. O2 start giving up pressure here onto the point. The first tick comes through. Tension now coming in, stopping them, but immediately peels back. Yakfeng has to pop the Primal Rage. The Discord Orb is in onto him, however, and everyone turns around, and they just burn straight through the Winston. Second tick nearly there. May comes in from Violet, trying to delay as much as humanly possible. But even then, I don't know if it's going to be enough. The second tick there, minute on the clock. Transcendence out from Need, tries to keep them alive. Maywall comes through, Humbaba back into the back, and Adora has been taken out. O2 feeling comfortable enough as Dawson gets frozen, gets right-clicked.
Oh,
They'll
this
have
is
one
so
more
bad for the
chance.
Foxes. This is so bad for them. And they were so close to finishing this. They had the better defense, so if they had just finished this, they might have been able to, again, repeat that defense they set up with the Junkrat to actually win this map. But now, it's looking pretty unrealistic. They might finish this in overtime, which gives O2 Ardeont so many more opportunities. Worst case scenario for the Ardeont, they have a way better timing, but it looks like this is very likely to be an overtime finish.
He is moving towards that way. Violet as well, building up, looking for the Blizzard. Adora's going to go down as Violet finds that kill.
He wants to keep this May out, and I don't blame him. They just want the overtime. That's all they want.
That Humble's dead. I think, honestly, O2 might have been able to do this, but now Need comes up with one, actually, as Humbaba gets knocked out of the back and taken down. But 10 seconds. Claimed by Stan. Dawson, EMP ready to go, throws it in. Looking for the finish there on a Stellar, but cannot find it. The Blizzard comes through. Violet takes them down. Tuba falling, sound barrier, and O2 showboating a bit there with that out from the Lucio. Assuming that they have the victory, the leap in comes through from Pumple. Try to delay, but nobody else can get there in time, and O2 will be able to get the win here on Horizon.
Playing around Climax's strengths, being confident that his Widow would be able to prevent movement inside towards this, towards a second point, right? Through the choke points, having that advantage of they have to show themselves there, consistently building as well the Infrasight, which of course gave them advanced notice of where everyone was going to be. The Sombras, you know, obviously dueling there, but oftentimes Stellar was actually getting the better end of the trades. Preventing that one huge EMP from coming through from Sasha was actually quite critical. Had he been able to get that, we might have had a different story entirely there with the first kill that went on to Climax, but it did not happen. The base switch there at the end as well, very well executed. Great right-click kills coming through. Foxers almost flipped it because they had two support ultimates stacked up, you know, back to back, where we had the stagger, where we saw the Transcendence and the sound barrier right after each other. So that led them to almost get that flip, and that was the scary moment there. But the May came out, they bought time, they got those kills, and not only do they force the overtime, but they win the map. And looking really fantastic on the Widow is Climax as always, but they've only won now a map, one of the best maps for Widowmaker in the pool. So where we go from here, it is going to be Escort, so it's going to be good for Widow no matter what. But let's see if we can maybe see some more dynamic play here.
Yeah, I mean, this is really going to make or break it for O2. They still have the opportunity to try to get that reverse sweep coming in. If they can win on Escort, force out Oasis for the tiebreaker, and take the series from there. Foxes, they get their map choice, so should theoretically have an advantage. We'll see where they want to go. Both of these teams have stated that they favor Junkertown, and it's going to be an absolute Widowmaker fiesta if we move into that one. Adora has not been able to stand up to Climax as much when it comes down to that Widowmaker, so really would need to accelerate his play with that pick if they want to find success. Otherwise, they kind of need to create something new, adapt around the Widowmaker instead of running it themselves. So we'll see if they want to go forward with the Junkertown, but if they do, it might just be playing right into the hands of O2 Ardeont.
Yeah, we're going to have our Genji cam here.
All right.
That was pretty good. I mean, it was brave and well executed. It was like pretty crisp. Like there wasn't anything wrong with that.
Okay.
He didn't say do a little jig. It says close like Genji.
I think he just thought it was like a dance cam or something. He's got the
very impressive. I still don't know why Genji does that with his fingers, but
very impressive. He sat down. Good job. No, okay, there you go. He did the right click. It was good. Waiting for the Dragon Blade to come out.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. He's got the Dragon Blade. He's feeling it.
He is feeling it. Is he feeling it? No, he's not feeling it.
He's not feeling it. This is, oh yeah, this is that emote when Genji begs for his life.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's gonna do it.
He's gonna go for it.
Oh,
okay.
That was good, actually. That was well executed. The first one and this one were two of the smoothest post-like hero cams we've seen throughout this tournament. So let's talk about Dorado versus Junkertown. Junkertown's the better comp for the better map for the Orisa Widow, where you're going to be doing Widow duels and you're going to be fighting through choke points as you get into the second phase. Dorado is going to be Widow effective throughout the entirety of the map, leading up to the last point. It's very useful in the very beginning, and then as you go into the streets phase, depending on who controls the line of sight, you have control of, if you have the control, the Widow is strong, otherwise not so much. But there are a lot of moments where McCree and Soldier are also really good on the third point of Dorado, and I think that's where Climax has shined on the McCree many times in the past. So if they want to say, okay, Adora's been playing really good on the Widow today, they've had really good, nice Junkrat play to support that, let's not try to go to Junkertown, then I think Dorado is the next best pick here for O2 Ardeont.
Oh, definitely going to be thinking about this one. Or the Foxes. For now, we're going to see a swap. Yet again, it's going to be Stellar sitting out. Ivy going to be coming in, so looking for a bit more dive perhaps here as we get ready to go over on to Escort.
This doesn't tell us too much. It does lean away from the Dorado slightly because Sombra is still very powerful on the third point there. And realistically, all points of Dorado on this patch without the Sombra nerf, but I think it does lean more towards the Genji Widow we've seen on Junkertown so much. And
well, there you go.
Just gave us a hint that that would probably be the way. So let's see. This is going to be, you know, a really important map win. The winner of this, of course, will take positional advantage towards the top of the rankings, which will affect, of course, placement going into the round of 8 because of seeding. So Foxes really want to close this one out. They do not want to take a chance going on to Control here. O2 Ardeont fighting for the lives with this map pick.
Junkertown, it all comes down to this. O2, one last chance to force this tie break. Move to Oasis to try to take the series. Pressure's on. The Widowmaker here could be the thing that shatters the Foxes and allows O2 to ride forward there into Oasis. Even then, they've already played Oasis today. It was a 2-0 victory for the Foxes, so it still would be a bit of an uphill battle. But having a commanding victory on Junkertown might give them that momentum, might just refresh their mental state to the point where they forget about the loss earlier on Oasis, and they can go into that one fresh with a new mindset. Be ready to take the fight over to the side of the Foxes. Adora there, that man on your screen, going up against Ivy, who's subbed back in. Gonna have to have one hell of a battle. We'll see what picks he wants to bring forward to try to combat the side of O2 Ardeont, but Genji Widowmaker, very highly anticipated here. Let's go ahead and load up for what could be the final map of this series.
신경 좀 써줄게. 하나의 죽음이 모든 걸 바꿀 수 있지.
All right, staring down the barrel of a Widow rifle is Climax. We know that this player is a very unique setup on his monitor. He puts it directly to where his eyes are right in front of the monitor, raised at head level. It's going to be about mechanical skill here with the Widow versus the dive coming through to counter it on the side of the Foxes, keeping the Hanzo in for a little while here.
I mean, this is Stand, actually, that's running the Widowmaker at the moment. Adora is going to be using the Hanzo here. Yep. As you say, we've seen this just yesterday.
So is this triple DPS? Can certainly work, because you have those hooks to guarantee Hanzo hits as well as snipe shots if you can make that happen. And then you're building for the Dragon Blade to execute the sports to finish the point. That's the strategy here for the Foxes.
Find that one, nice ult comes through, but not going to be finding the execution. Scatter arrow ready to go from Adora. Can't quite throw that at the feet of Humbaba. A couple kills going to be coming through there as needed. One will both go down. Ivy forward and aggressive, wants to have that Dragon Blade, and he's already outpacing Sassen by quite a significant margin, 31% up.
Might be time to give a switch here with the Hanzo. Just given that it's not doing as much damage as they would like, the barriers have really denied a lot of the potential scatter arrows because you just can't really get an angle with it. They're going to stick with it. In fact, Stanwan going to commit this. In for sight now will also benefit Genji, who is trying to predict his arrows at range.
He's just doing that solo cute thing. He's like, you know, I'll swap after Dragon Strike.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like.
Maybe I'll get it, maybe I won't. We'll find out. So far, it's not looking too great. Stan going to be taking down another hook there from Baba, executing the Widowmaker. He'll take a bit of damage, has the breather. Go ahead and stay alive. And Violet will get taken out. The scatter arrow comes through. That's just one of those ones where you're like, well, you got lucky. The rest is there anyway, and Adora goes down to Ivy. So yeah, this is not looking so great here from the side of the Foxes.
But hey, he's almost got that Dragon Strike.
Stan's going to rotate. He's got the Diva.
I don't even know if they're going to use the Dragon Strike. They're wasting valuable time.
Yeah.
Just switch over.
Oh, man,
this makes more sense, but what a wasted push.
It feels so bad.
It does. It feels sad. It does. But, you know, you experiment, you try to run the Hanzo.
I mean,
sometimes it works, sometimes this happens.
The only thing I can think of that feels worse than giving up that much of a Dragon Strike ult charge is just playing Hanzo in the first place. So, rough stuff here from the Foxes.
For me, it was when I dropped my phone in the toilet, but that was me.
He's got his Dragon Blade ready to go.
Well, this is not a whole lot of time to work with. They've got the better angle here. O2 Ardeont does. Climax on the Widow.
Climax barely missing that shot onto Pummel. Would have been a very nice punch there for the side of the Foxes, but he finds Adora instead, taking out the enemy Widowmaker.
He is the better Widow. We knew that from the outset of this match. Of these last two map picks, just so difficult because Adora is a mediocre Widow at best, and on this map where you have to be good on the Widow, I don't blame them for trying to run the Hanzo, trying to put stand one on the flex, trying to make that triple DPS work, but it didn't. And now they've got worse timing trying to run mirror comps that they're worse at.
Sassen's coming around the back, but he's going to be the recipient of that Discord orb. The focus comes through, and Ivy scoops up the kill. Good ult. Total outclassing right now of O2 against the Foxes. Yakpung will die, however, as Ivy gets kneed. So the Hulk still going to be there onto this push. Yakpung's brought right back into it there by Rain, and now Pumple will die.
I mean, obviously we know Sasha is the better Genji, but it just doesn't look like it right now because Climax is giving so much space here. This is a dominant defense.
I mean, that was a really weird self-destruct as well by Stan.
I think they're starting to get a little bit frustrated at the moment. They don't want to lose too much momentum. They don't want to stagger deaths, but you kind of have to at this point. I mean, he might have been prevented from jumping off the side. That could have been nasty, but
15 seconds. This is Fox's map pick. They lost on Horizon. They brought us to Junkertown, and they're the ones suffering for it. Sassen still has not brought out that Dragon Blade. Goes low. They manage to find Ivy. Adora takes him down, but Rain is there. Has the res ready to go. Then bring him back into the fight. He has his Dragon Blade as well. Sassen's going to go in deep. Slicing his way through. Finds one there onto Rain. Stan going to be traded. And so far, it looks like Sassen will be able to find two, but Orochi will go down. Sassen falls immediately thereafter. Ivy finds Need. It's just Adora and Pumple and OT.
I mean,
Adora finds one onto Ivy.
It was a good blade.
Still alive.
It was a good blade, but it's just there's not enough. He was outnumbered. There's only so much you could do with the Dragon Blade by yourself.
Final shot there on the Pumple. He'll go down 10. Comes back in. Move off there on a Hobaba who nearly has the whole hog ready to go. Can't just pop that one. Instantly shove everybody back away from the point. Deflection only going to do so much. And Foxes, they need one hell of a fight. Rain and Violet both going to be eliminated. No heals available.
Oh, the hook
comes in. That's going to be Need going down as Climax finds the headshot. Still unhindered here in the back line. Hobaba will fall in the end. Yakpung knocked out of the back. No tanks available. Support still on the way back. The payload is moving forward. Foxes, my God, are they actually going to get this?
I think they're going to let them, perhaps, because you remember what happens if you end up trying to fight for this and lose it. You allow your enemy to go through this gateway, this doorway here, past point A. However, Ivy looking for a pulse bomb kill in the back. They're not going to get this up without a fight.
To get the one clip, the Baby Diva will go down, and Need is picked up there. Ivy finds it. Supercharger coming through, but the Foxes just cannot find the damage. They cannot find the kills. They'll get a meter and a half away, and they will still be full held. Look like maybe they were going to finally get that completion, but I got to say, I mean, that was just
It was an outclassing. It was bad, but I do want to say I love how O2 Ardeont approached the final contest, because it looked like for a moment they were going to let them through, which happens a lot on this map, because if you try to contest before the doorway and fail, then you give them a free push past the gate and they get inside. Getting inside after point A is probably the hardest part of the entire map of Junkertown from what we've seen in Contenders Korea. So instead of heavily committing for the contest, they sneak around the Tracer to the backside to threaten the supports. He's got a pulse bomb available. So while Tracer sneaks around the back, they set up a little bit closer to the front and they kind of collapse on them from two sides. It's a less risky play because if the Tracer fails and they don't threaten the supports, they just let him through and they don't get wiped. So they use the Tracer there to make sure they have the safest way to contest there of point A. It works out for them in the end. Very well played. I think that the Foxes vastly overestimated what Sashin would be able to do on this Genji against the defensive setup here of Humbaba, Yakpung, and Climax. We were not able to make the Genji get the kills. They were outclassed by Ivy in terms of ult charge because they were losing every fight, and Ivy was just cleaning up the pieces. Overconfidence, a weakness here for the Foxes with this map pick. I think almost any other map choice, especially Route 66, would have been a better option going into this one. But not living in that reality anymore.
No, we don't. I don't know. When I said try something, I said try it around the Widowmaker. If you're not going to play it yourself, they didn't put a door on and off the bat. So they do one of the weirdest things ever, trying to just shoehorn that Hanzo into the comp.
They're not even going to run the Widow here on the defense.
Yeah, they're not. They're just going to put Adora here onto the Tracer. Saucin still on the Genji.
Ivy's going to switch to it too.
I mean, there's no Orisa. There's no Roadhog.
It's just dive defense here.
Dive with a Mercy.
They're trying to build blades with that, but right now it's somewhat unscouted territory here. But they're giving so much free push, not building ults while they do this.
You can't really afford to do this just because you have to hold them with basically 5 meters of leeway at this point.
Yeah,
Climax has a great flank angle, just needs somebody to smoke out, and that's going to be Saucin going down, and honestly, could just be the map because Pumple takes a headshot as well. Need is dead. That's going to be it. We're going to game 5. I'll just go ahead and call it right now. Oasis is going to be up on the block next.
I don't think anyone will fault you for that one, Achilios, as
reverse sweep, ready to come through. 0-2, riding it in.
Yep. Well, this is just take your safe ride to the point. We're going to see one last good test here with Stand 1.
He's knocked out. Saucin dashes forward. Stand's going to go down. Hook in onto the Mercy. She's dead. Pumple's dead. Dragon Blade's out. Ivy's just slicing and dicing everybody up, and that's going to be it. Foxes picked Junkertown, but it seems like it was completely at random because they did not have any sort of plan whatsoever by the look of it.
Just feels frustrating that they cannot use because Adora's playing the Tracer in this case, they can't use his Genji. He's a much better Genji than Sashin is. They don't want to use Sashin on the Sombra on Junkertown because it doesn't make sense. So they try to run this anti-dive, or sorry, this anti-Widowmaker dive. They try to run standard counter dive. And they chose this map, and they pay for it. The choice of the map on Lunar Colony, Horizon Lunar Colony, was against them. They struggled there. They put up a good fight, but it was obviously going to be a good map for Climax. This time, they chose a great map for Climax and just did not make it happen.
I figured it out. I know why this happened. It's because Foxes know that every tiebreaker ends on Oasis. They already won 2-0 on Oasis. They had 100-0 in City Center, and then a closer one on University with 100-99. But they're feeling confident. They know we can win on Oasis, on Control. But when it comes down to Escort, maybe we're just a little bit too garbage to try to win there. So instead of playing seriously, they say, you know what? We'll give them the win. We'll let them have the 2-2, but we're going to clap them when it comes down to that tiebreak on Oasis.
The only problem with these theory is they probably should have just won the 4th map to close it out. I don't know. Well, as you mentioned, the final map will be Oasis. That is our set map for tiebreaker. Stellar is going to be subbed back in because this makes sense.
Because this is just how it goes every time.
Because we're not seeing
Stellar in, Ivy out.
We're not seeing dive with Genji on Control at the moment. This does confirm, because I was always wondering, and no one was able to confirm this for me, whether or not you could sub into tiebreaker, but this confirms that. So this was a learning moment, at least before we even get into the map. So let's see what sort of play they can run this, or that O2 Ardeont can make happen this time on Oasis, because we saw the outclassing earlier. Just better play overall on the supports, especially Need has been, honestly, for me, if they win this series, the MVP for the Foxes. The O2 Ardeont did struggle. It was very much not close, like you said. It was a pretty one-sided first map of this series, but as always, hope they've got momentum on their side now. They're keeping Climax in, so I think we are going to see a lot of this McCree approach tactics again, maybe some Soldier, possibly on University, where he was trying to run that for a little while, switched over to the McCree. Those are the strengths that Climax can use on this map that are non-Widow related. Because he, again, is very good at long-range hit scan in general. It's just the Widowmaker is the most meta one.
Yeah, I don't know. The momentum shift here with O2 winning those last 2 maps. I'm just not sure if Foxes, even with their victory earlier on in the series on Oasis, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get it. O2 has the power of momentum, and Foxes just looked completely lost on Junkertown. Like, there's no way to salvage that. There's no way to make it seem good.
No, yeah, there's not.
It was just like, that was actually probably the worst Overwatch that we've seen so far in this tournament, was that play on Junkertown. But here you go, Oasis, the tiebreaker. I believe the 2nd time, and we've had this so far in this season. We saw it the first time out from Runaway in their series.
Well, we're going to see how this one pans out. O2 Ardeont has the momentum advantage. They have a good player for the map, Climax, who's been able to play on 2 of his favorite maps back-to-back to get the 5th map started here for a potential reverse sweep. But, you know, it's the fault of Foxes that they played Junkertown. They paid for it. They better be confident that on this map they can do it again, they can crush it again. And I think that's going to be really going to have to be carried by Need and Oporochi, the support players who have had better performances tonight overall than Violet and Rain. Need on the Moira, doing more healing overall on the Oasis map. We'll not be playing Zenyatta here though, Achilios, I don't think.
Well, it's going to be University yet again here. This was the closest one that we had, 100 to 99. Last chance for both of these teams, another best of 3 on Oasis to decide the entire series.
Showing the Zenyatta now, though, to start this off, not the Moira. Interestingly enough, we're having a lot of switches coming through, but I think they're actually going to stick with this one. So looking for potentially tank bursting with Sasha to try to remove the divas. It is going to be the Climax Soldier here to control the high ground, just like what they started with last time. He did eventually switch to the McCree. But if they can get a nice advantage here and get the first flip, he'll be able to build a tac visor, which is so useful at holding aggressive pushes.
Well, here we go. Hack coming down, Stellar. This flank ready to go here for the side of Ardeont. Climax again on the Soldier is still puzzling. We'll see if they can pull it off this time around. Dawson's pushing into the back, looking to build up to that EMP, but has to jump away immediately as Pumple just gets zapped down, jumps down into the pit, able to get that Mega Pack. No, it's not hacked out here for his squad. Violet finds the first kill as the door goes down. The cap comes through for Foxes, but might just be the insta-flip here for O2. We'll get holding up here for the moment, but Climax pushes forward, takes out Oporochi. They will get that only 80% would have been excellent if you're the Foxes. 8% here.
Well, Climax is building up for this tac vice, like I said. Look how aggressively he's standing right now. He's probably going to look for a helix if he can. If he finishes this, he can stay on the high ground. They can coordinate defensive plays to shut down stand 1 on the Diva. If the Diva goes down, he uses the tac visor. It's a very efficient ult in terms of charge time and what it can accomplish if the Diva's down. So, really scary moment right now for the Foxes against the Soldier, who has positional advantage.
Transcendence pushing forward here. He's firing away. We'll go ahead, pop the ultimate, helps keep Pumple alive into the fight. Kills coming through on either side as Violet also answers with his own Transcendence. Everybody nice and topped up as O2 continues moving forward here on this point. EMP comes in, Climax going to be hacked out, kites around to the side, still can sprint, has a dodge out onto the pulse bomb that Adora tosses in, finds Violet in the backside, but now the tac visor comes down with the sound barrier. Climax just firing away, forces out the primal rage from Pumple. They'll be rejoining here onto the point, but so far O2 Ardeont still going to be in control with 57% moving upward. Need going to go down, still O2 finding the pickoffs that they need to maintain control here. Yakman with a rival rage of his own, jumps forward, smacks him around a little bit. It's going to be O2 retaining the control. Foxes having to go their separate ways.
Stand 1 dies, they pull the tac visor out, just like, you know, I was describing earlier. Climax is able to not really rack up a ton of kills, but force a primal rage, force everyone to zone away. And it was a very successful zoning ultimate where they were keeping everyone outside of the point. Now they're at 85, and if they flip it, Climax can switch over to the McCree. They have all the opportunities in the world to switch compositions now, so huge success here.
All right, here we go. The EMP gonna get dropped down. He fights Stellar. Pumple gets eliminated immediately. The rockets from Mbaba just ripping him apart. And it's It's 95% here for the side of O2 Ardeont. Look at the turnaround there. Luck on Oasis. Pulse bomb out from Fedora. Throws it in. A bit of a Hail Mary play. Manages to find Stellar. Not even who he was looking at. Then follows up in onto Climax. Foxes finally finding the fight. Need's gonna go. Violet gonna go low. Will get taken down here in the end as Jacques Pung's the only one left alive. The flip comes in. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll for the Foxes. 15% here to the 99 that O2 have accrued.
Interestingly enough, Climax not willing to switch over to the McCree here. They don't want to run the Moira because they're so close to that 100% for the Transcendence. So getting him onto the high ground and eliminating the D.Va is two things required to get massive value out of this Soldier 76. That's going to be much easier said than done here. You can see he's struggling to approach this point, just trying to build for that tack visor right now, but getting to where he needs to be is going to be so tough.
EMP ready to go here from Saucin, looking to line it up, pushes forward. Gets for the enemies, and out of it, the Transcendence comes out there by Violet, perfectly timed to keep himself safe. Yakman and Climax both go down, and maybe O2 can close this one out. Baba gonna get knocked out of the mech, does not use that self-destruct, however, and it still will be Foxes actually winning out despite the great reaction from Violet.
How are they going to deal with a stand one who has the ability to remech here, control the point? Eliminating him will have to be done without an EMP. They're going to have to do a right-click hack here. They're going to take the high ground approach to get Climax to position, but the D.Va will have to be eliminated or at least distracted here, or this is not going to get value on the high ground. As you can see, the Foxes already smelled this one out. They're going to go for the collapse. It's do or die time right now here for O2 Ardeont.
80%. Still in control here are the Foxes.
Hey, good fighting back.
It's going to have to be Johnny on the Fox when it comes down to that Transcendence. Pulse bomb comes out from Fedora, doesn't find anything. Sound barrier out from the side of O2. I've got a victory here. Let's go ahead, start the bidding at $500. EMP out from Stellar now, not going to be finding much. Goes down that Transcendence, jumps back up in Climax. Talk stand out of that mech, takes him down with the tack visor. The focus comes through. O2 Ardeont have this one ready to go. They're bidding up. Climax goes slow, 13 HP, gets hounded down by Adora, who desperately wants to get the split bid for his team. Yakfung chases forward, gets the lockdown there on the knee. The Primal Rage comes through, smacking him around, gets the rejoin here. Sound barrier out from the side of the Foxes as they try to stay in the fight. The few members left alive in onto the point, trying to take this one up. They're halfway there, but they cannot get the completion. O2 Ardeont still holding on by a thread, but Yakun goes down now. Humbaba absolutely shredded in out of that mech. Saucin, EMP ready to go, as you say, looking for the opportunity to drop that one in, but he needs more members from O2. Throws it in. Stellar can't do a damn thing. He's gonna get locked down. He's gonna go down. The stick from Adora finds Rain. Foxes get the flip. Can they get the finish? It's looking like yes.
It
O2
is
Ardeont.
like yes.
Jump back in. Yakpun absolutely destroyed Humbaba, trying to get back, but cannot do it. And Foxes, they get it. Sold. The team in blue, $1,000.
Well, it was a $1,000 DMAX there onto stand one. They got the kill. He was able to, Climax was able to use the tack visor, but again, not able to really do as much damage as they wanted to. They got a few kills, but it wasn't consistent enough. He was then killed right afterwards and couldn't actually continue to do damage. So they actually switched him over to the Tracer. He came back in, built even a pulse bomb throughout that entire string of words you were throwing out there. So very well played.
I would call it an amalgamation, perhaps.
Sure. So very well played by the focus fire onto stand one. I was actually shocked they were able to make that happen. The targeting was good, but I prefer, honestly, in situations like this, the McCree composition for O2 Ardeont. They're going to run it here as we move into city center, but it could have been actually a little bit safer there on that last point.
It's going to be guarded, by the way.
Oh yeah, Garden, sorry, my bad.
No problem. Was city center the last time out? Didn't see that. Second round, Violet gonna get taken down right off the meta. Saucin finds a double kill. Climax falling as well here with the McCree. Needs to be much more impactful than that, but for now it seems like O2 Ardeont are just gonna get ripped apart, and Foxes should be able to find that first initial cap here. Fox is chasing pretty aggressively forward. Love to get the pop there on Humbaba, but cannot force it out. They'll just kite back over to the garden. The rest of the squad already coalescence ready to go from knee, just about 72%.
Yeah, I mean, you build that so quickly on the Moira. I'm a little bit surprised we were seeing the Zenyatta's last time more so, perhaps just looking for the extra damage there. Well, of course, that's what O2 Ardeont was trying to do, but this is going to give so much extra healing to stand one here, and he's going to have that coalescence to try to hold this first attack in the choke point.
The healer's completely cut off. This Schröder comes down there on a pummel, and he's actually going to get punished for going forward to try to eliminate them. Humbaba will go down, and Adora taken out here by Violet. Need Coalescence ready to go, but now hacked out. Throws down the orb. This way back here with the fade. Now we'll go ahead and use the ultimate, just trying to keep Stan alive and in the back. So far, so good. The orb actually hounds down Stellar. All these seconds later, finishing off the enemy Sombra there. It's going to be delaying that EMP even further. And the self-destruct that from Stan manages to take down that baby Diva. Yakplan as well going to be falling flat. And Foxes are looking rather good here at the start on Gardens.
He makes this Coalescence so valuable, gets that kill there with the right click like you said, or sorry, with the orb. And then from then on is just able to totally control this fight. They bring everybody in. He has massive healing. The Coalescence with that feedback backwards is able to guarantee them that extra healing. And this is very well played by the Moira, and that's why Moira is more meta on this map than the Zenyatta when you're not running something like a McCree, because the damage coming through from mobility is not going to matter with the Discord Orbs as much.
Transcendence out there from Violet. The Pulse Bomb going to stick from Adora as he tries to get the lockdown there on the Rain. Pulse Bomb out from Climax in the meanwhile does actually take down Need. The sound barrier a bit too late to try to keep the Moira alive into the fight. So far, Fox is not suffering any further losses, but Stan actually going to get knocked out in the back. Will get taken down to the end as O2 invests their own sound barrier. Will be able to get Pumple. Overwatch kites his way back. Foxes looking like they're going to surrender this one and just try to regroup as they tick up just shy of that OT mark. 98% for the hold. They do not get the 100-0 this time.
And because we're running similar compositions, it's going to feel pretty bad for O2 already. At least they keep their chances of winning this series alive, but they know that Foxes, if they use their pushes slowly and efficiently to build up for a big 6 push or at least an ult advantage, it's going to be very difficult to hold this versus 98%. Here's going to be the first of those pushes coming through.
They go charging in, but Stan is just going to get ripped apart right off the bat. He doesn't have the self-destruct to try to get the remake. Need there a bit late with the Coalescence, cannot keep him inside, so he is just going to get knocked out, still sitting in the baby Diva form. And going to be a very prime target. Pulse Bomb out, however, from Adora. Actually finds a pick there onto Rain. A bit of an X2C delivery almost. Coming through onto that one. He follows up to get killed there onto the baby Diva. Fights back, goes low, doesn't have the recall available yet, but still is getting spammed back up, and that's going to be the flip. Now Fox is in at 99% OT to get away. O2 Ardeont need to get this flip. They need to get the win if they want to take this victory throughout this series. Have been fighting back. They're looking for the reverse sweep, but they might be falling flat right here in the last hour. Yakplan goes down. Self-destruct finds Violet. He was the closest one to having the ultimate available. No Transcendence, no sound barrier, no Rain, no Stella, no nothing. Climax gotta get ripped apart. Has to go back with the recall. Humbaba's out of the fight. That's gonna be the team kill. That's gonna be it. Foxes close out the 2-0 here on Oasis, and they take the series in the end.
They were looking to have the ult advantage there to win the fight. They wanted to play safe. They wanted to play slow, but Adora said no. He got that pulse stick onto the Winston, and unfortunately Yakplan makes a critical mistake, jumps backwards in that moment and kills Rain with the pulse bomb. From that moment on, we just saw Adora completely open up the point. He prevented the remake there from Humbaba as well, coming in, getting those headshot full clips there as he was trying to remake there with the self-destruct. Totally opens this up with one pulse bomb and one prevention of demaking. Then after that, they had the ult advantage. There was no way they were going to lose the fight from there, and it was desperation, one by one, members of O2 Ardeont trying to come back in and retake the point.
Absolutely wonderful series there, but O2 fall short in the end. Foxes able to walk away with the victory. Might not be having a point victory. Again, the win there on Oasis doesn't contribute any map points to their score, but they at least have that win on the board, which will help them move up the standings.
Wins are more important than map score, obviously, yeah.
We told you the first series today could have been a close one. There was that asterisk that Kondu Panthera had looked better, but it was against Meta Athena. They fall flat. I almost did the Australian, almost went back to the Atlas and Papa Smithy days of Meta Athena, but that was not a close series. That was a 4-0 for X6. We promised you again, we said this time, this one really is going to be the close series, and we went all the way in for our second tiebreaker of the season. These guys went the distance, but it was Foxes that took that one extra step.
They delivered. Unfortunately for O2 Ardeont, their understanding of the Widow play for Climax is really, really solid. They were able to take 2 great Widow maps on Horizon. They forced it even on point B till the end, till their defense there. And then on Junkertown, which is the map pick of the Foxes, ended up being a mistake. We're totally outclassed there, totally destroyed. When they tried to run Climax on long-range hit scan on Oasis, they failed to understand how to play around the D.Va. They had one good moment, but they just could not actually capitalize on it, where they killed the D.Va, they had the tac visor there, and you know, they were still just outflanked there by Adora. But using the McCree instead of the Soldier, I think, is something that's costing, or sorry, using the Soldier instead of the McCree, there's something that's causing them big on control. They really want to use Soldier because he has more sustain, he can build his ultimates faster, it feels less all-in than the McCree, because the McCree feels like you either blow up the tanks to win the whole fight, or you just die and everything gets reset because all the damage is gone. They really wanted to run the Zenyatta too there with the Soldier, which is, you know, again, makes the Soldier more vulnerable but can do more damage. Kind of a lot of all-in things where everything's focused on Climax and not the team as a whole, or not what their composition is supposed to do. And I think it was better teamwork, better understanding of today's meta from Foxes versus maybe, in some ways, at the highest level, Climax and his teammates having more mechanical skill. And there's the yin and yang of Overwatch, right? It's aiming and coordination, basically. And aiming can get you so far, only coordination can get you so far. You have to have both aspects. And I feel like the more well-rounded team tonight was the Foxes. Yeah, overall, I mean, that's why they came up with the victory, and I still hold by my theory. I really think that they just tossed Junkertown out the window because they knew that they could win on Oasis. Nah, that was just really bad, but they were able to bounce back from it, which is good, because I thought maybe after getting full held on Junkertown, it would tilt them off the face of the earth, much like this is tilted right now, so there you go. Thank you. But they managed to recover, and they get that 2-0 yet again on Oasis. Not nearly as dominant. It was 100-99 on University, and then 100-0 on City Center. So some improvement from O2, but not enough to actually take a round win, to elongate the series, nor to get the win. Sign of the day, however, will be cheering for the winning team. It's going to be Foxes there. Shy, shy, shy. Now, that's a really cool drawing, and I like the custom Pachimari figures there as well. You know, the Widowmaker and the Mei, so really good sewing work, I suppose. Yeah. So well, whoever made it, I don't know if they bought it from Etsy or something, they made it themselves. Oh, going all the way down to the floor on this one. Still, I'll never understand why Genji does that with his fingers, but he imitated it really well. I'm still sad that the guy who threw his phone didn't win for the Tracer lookalike competition. I really thought that one was going to go through. Well, I hope his phone's okay at least. You know, it seemed like it was all right. He wasn't crying about it afterwards, so they had a good case. It might have been fine, but there we go. Foxes have the win, so we're going to go ahead and dive into our MVP. So today's MVP is Need. Well deserved. No surprises. Incredible Zenyatta today. So our MVP is Need. Please introduce yourself. My name is Need. I am the sub-healer for Team Foxes. The second one ever to have an MVP award given after Revenge. So you won. How do you feel? We didn't know we'd actually go all the way to Game 5, but we had a lot of difficult times today. It was a lot harder than we expected. So you had a lot of kills on Zenyatta. I've been just practicing a lot with Zenyatta, playing scrims, playing solo queue. So in Game 2, you made a lot of huge plays on the Zenyatta. What were you thinking when you knew that they won the map because of you? You said, what map? I said, like, when you were on attack on map 2. I was basically just thinking the whole time, we're going to win. And that's the only thing I had in my mind. That's the only thing I was thinking. So you got full held on Game 4. How did you guys feel after that? We were actually silent for about 20 seconds afterwards. We weren't talking to each other. We were silent. So we honestly were really shocked that we were full health so harshly. So now with this win, you're confirmed in the playoffs. Any future thing you want to say about the future? We lost to 7. That was a really tough match for us in our third week. And it's been tough, but we've been able to make the playoff.
저희 플레이오프 경기를 많이 기대해 줬으면 좋겠어요.
So thank you guys. So please keep expecting good things for us in the playoffs.
이벤트 타임입니다. 미드 선수의 사인이 그려진 오버워치 티셔츠를 선수가 직접 전달해 드리는데요. 과연 오늘 두 번째 행운의 주인공은 누가 될까요?
We're going to give the signed T-shirt to one of the fans here in the audience.
Take your pick. Swinging around.
Oh, it's Shy Guy's girlfriend.
Oh man, he's moving in.
Could have been his, but
moving in on that territory. That guy's got to watch his back. Protect what's his.